unmistakable. We may be invisible. They may be blinding me, just wait and see. Just wait and see. Just wait and see. To all the haters, those filled with jealousy, the naysayers, payers for defeat. But we'll make ladders out of obstacles and stepping stones from roadblocks. Skip over the lines that say we won't cross. We'll shake hands like they're nothing, they won't see us coming. Scale all of the walls they built to hold us. We may be invisible, but we'll be unmistakable. We may be invisible. They may be blinding me, just wait and see. Just wait and see. Just wait and see. Just wait and see. Just wait and see.
Last time I warned y'all, now this time I'm just sending shots. Thought that I was some yes man, I'm about to show y'all that I'm really not. Me and mine was really on the bottom, now we way up at the tippy top. No bull, unless we talking flipping stocks. Don't mess around or you getting got. Can't see through it cause it's tinted out. Yeah, ooh, I'm on the way. Game time, who wanna play? I showed up just to ruin your day. Count my green till I'm blue in the face. I don't wanna talk, please give me my space. About to go ghost till I give me my rave. Flow too fast, can't get with my pace. I'ma spaz on as soon as Quentin give me that bass. Boom, 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 boom. One out of smoke like a chimney. It's my turn like I'm a Timmy. I pity y'all boys, think y'all big Mickey, y'all mini. I'm your favorite writer. I'm on fire. I leave, everybody retire. My team, the only people I admire. My empire, only second to Messiah. That's no boast. You don't wanna get too close. I explode with every single line I spoke. Remember when they laughed at me like I'm a joke? Now I control the master lines they quote. Haters talk now, everybody quiet. Don't surprise to see that I can go as high as I can go. Told you a long time ago that I'm. Wait a minute. What? I should. Oh, you lucky I don't. Oh!
Two cutters through the middle. Artie up for three.
Hello Hockey World, welcome to New Zealand Heritage Hockey Tournament 2024, the place where culture and pride hit the turf and some of the best players in the country have the chance to stand up and represent their heritage. We're coming to you live from the National Hockey Centre here in North Harbour, home of the North Harbour Hockey Association and home of the New Zealand Black Sticks. It's day 2 of the tournament here on a beautiful sunny Easter Saturday, and with one game under their belts. Both these teams winners on day 1. Expect the quality and action to really heat up in this morning's clash. Our matchup, of course, is between the New Zealand Asian men taking on the NZISA women. Now, I mentioned earlier 2 winners from day 1. I'm Brad Pittman and we'll be with you this whole Easter weekend, bringing you all 16 games of the tournament. We're currently up to game 6 of the weekend. Of course, 4 games yesterday and our second game today. See some of the teams warming up there. That's the Indian boys, of course, in the white. The Asian men, they'll be in the black, red and yellow. And I'm joined in commentary by Pukekohe Indian Sports, the Golden Sun, after he delivered the Diane Chand in 2023. Kit and Hari joining us online from the UK. Good evening in your place there, Kits. How you going?
G'day, Brad. Yeah, not too bad. Thank you. A little bit different weather over here in the UK, but glad to be watching a little bit of hockey and a bit of sun over in Auckland.
It's so good to have you dialed in. I mentioned the victory at last year's KBT, a pretty epic moment for you and the Pookie boys. A few of those guys out here, of course, today. What are you looking forward to in this morning's match?
Yeah, it's actually quite exciting. There's quite a few guys that are new to the group from last year when I took the NZI team. So really excited to see how they go. Obviously a good win yesterday against the New Zealand Māori boys, but another good test today against a strong-looking Asian side after going past Fiji in a shootout yesterday. Yeah,
it was a bit of a surprise package, that last game. The NZ Fiji and NZ Asian teams, 2 teams we hadn't seen in those entities at Heritage before, and it was an awesome game. Like you mentioned, the Asians getting up in the end in the penalty shootout. But I've got to say, the NZI boys, if they can replicate what happened in that third quarter, they're going to be really tough to beat.
Yeah, exactly. They definitely had a good foot of the game in that first half and couldn't put away their opportunities. But obviously, when things start to click going into that third quarter, you can really see there's a lot of talent, especially up front, for these guys to put away a few goals. So they'll be looking to do the same again today.
Yeah, as we see the captains there come together in the middle. Our umpires for today, Sam Richmond and Josh Kumberoff. Captains there, DVD Bicker for the Indians and Gerard Tan for the Asians, and both winning captains yesterday. A couple of players of mention off yesterday's games. You talked about the attacking prowess of the Indian team. I've got to mention Shea Iswar and Hiranmani, a couple of guys who have a ton of skill up the front, composure on the ball. They execute well in the circle, such a dynamic duo. You'll know a fair bit about those 2 boys' exploits, Kits, weapons up the front.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it shows there's a few of these guys have played together for a few years now, especially those Wellington boys up front between Sarge, Hiran, Joshua, a few of those guys, DBD, they've all played together for a while, and it shows with those connections. So when you add in someone like Shea, who I know has played Auckland HC level, captain the side over at Southern, it does really show that these guys have a lot of attacking input.
Yeah, and it's going to be a good matchup, because I think my highlights for the Asian team, Dylan Muggleston, who's probably playing a centre midfielder or a free man in that area of the field, and John Casey, the goalkeeper, young kid not long out of St Kitts, who they call the Great Wall of China. He was huge for them yesterday in that win over NZ Fiji. They're going to have their hands full today.
100%, and I'm seeing the game yesterday and the way Dylan Muggleston was playing. Obviously, he's got wheels that we'd all love to have, and he used that really well yesterday. And so if they can, build around him and use the likes of Dan East and a couple of other guys, they'll really be in for a good game today against the Indians and can put them under pressure. Yeah,
it's going to be quite an exciting game. The way that both these teams attack is with some real pace. You mentioned Sarge. He's playing a bit of a midfielder out there this weekend. He was electric when he turned the ball over in the midfield and then had some of those players in front of him. And then equally on the other side, guys like Ryan Shue, Ben Schwartz, some of these guys that can go forward. You mentioned Dill's speed on the ball, Lloyd McLaughlin. It's real fast at both ends of the field, and I'm looking for some highlights from the goalkeepers. We mentioned John Casey, but also Big Dill Patel as well. Going to have a big game for each side.
Yeah, 100%, and those two good goalkeepers, and that's what you need to sort of win these types of tournaments. So I know they'll be hoping they're not doing too much work today, but they'll be called on when needed.
Yeah. As we see the teams coming out into the middle of the park, if you're just joining us, welcome. Easter Saturday here from the North Harbour Hockey Centre, the National Hockey Centre, now home of the New Zealand Black Sticks and home this year of the 2024 Heritage Hockey Tournament. This is the New Zealandian men taking on New Zealand Asians, the new entity at the tournament. Both teams first up winners. And we're underway here. And again, for those just joining us, we've got Kitten Hari online here over in the UK, obviously part of the NZI setup in the Pookie Indians Club. And the Indians get started quickly here. A little bit of miscommunication both ways. Yeah. Yeah, it's actually going to be turned around and going the other way. So perhaps a little wrong hand to start there. Keats all looked a little bit confusing there for a second.
Yeah, that's right. I guess the speed of the game these days, and these two teams will be looking to sort of feel each other out for this first sort of 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, that's it. And I mentioned in the first game this morning, 2 wins can pretty much book yourself a spot in the final, as we see Brett Menezes there tuck one under the arm for Sargent. It's turned away. Yeah, 2 wins pretty much gets you there come Monday, so everything on the line for these two teams. There's DVD up there trying to work a little bit of magic. Corner coming. I got to ask you, Keats, what do you think of the headband there on Brett Menezes?
I think he's, I don't know what Jude would say about that, but he might be taking tips from other guys in the team. So we'll see what Jude says when he's in town in a week or so.
Yeah, absolutely. I had to say yesterday, probably not the biggest fan of the look, but hey, when you're getting penalty corners like that, it doesn't matter what you look like. Somebody's got to step up in the fashion department, considering Neitz isn't here.
That's the one. It'll be interesting to see what the boys can do from this corner as well.
Yeah, looks like Prashant and Sarge on the bracket. There's Prashant, upright hit, straight back to him. Scramble there. That's 3 saves now, I believe. There's the 4th. And the 5th, holy. That's why he's called the Great Wall of China, holy heck. And speaking of, here come the Asians on the counter. Chen Yang, he's in the circle. And a penalty corner the other way. Kids, we go end to end. What a start for the Asians, turning defence into attack.
That was great keeping at the corner to start with, and then the ball down the line. Obviously, I always say I want to go quickly on the other end, and they get the attacking way down the other end and corner from it. Yeah,
absolutely. Have a look at this. That's 2, 3, rolls it away, 4. Oh, it's not always pretty looking, but man, that's something special. Good start from John Casey in goal for the Asian side, and like you mentioned, that outlet at pace. Man, both these teams can attack with speed. I mentioned that early. But let's have a look at the penalty corner on the other side. One thing I forgot to mention when talking about Dill Muggleston, he's probably one of the premier flickers in the tournament. Here he is. Run down by Sarge, and great defence there. Yeah, excellent line from Sarge. He's a big body, and man, he gets out quick.
You've got to be brave as well to run down that line, especially against someone like Dill, who obviously flicks the ball very quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. So a couple of tests passed by both defensive units to start the game. It's always good for the confidence to get a penalty corner turned away and now build a little bit of attack. And Keats, you mentioned that teams might be trying to feel each other out. Doesn't look like it at this point. We're just going for it.
Yeah, there's enough action in both circles, and we're only a few minutes into the match.
Yeah. Yeah, another save called on there by John Casey, that reverse stick shot. He turned away, pretty regulation in the end. We haven't seen anything off the pad yet of Dil Patel, but he likes it that way. He'd rather his defenders do the work, and he just charged them around.
Yeah, I understand. Good ball movement there from the Asian side. They're obviously trying to move the Indian boys around, and the ball speed there was really good. And if they can transfer the ball across, they'll cause a bit of issues.
Yeah, it's probably the highlight of both these teams when they can get that midfield transfer paired in with the speed they've got up the front. It's so hard to defend when you're shifting sideways with pace on top of it.
Yeah, 100%, and especially with 2 quality units, if you can get that extra foot away on someone, like they can, then they're obviously going well.
Speaking of going well, Sarge just turned one inside out. He gets down the line and earned another penalty corner here, the Indian side. And Kits, it's something you had to deal with a little bit last year of not having a genuine penalty corner flicker in the side, is having to be a little bit creative in the penalty corner. We've seen a few upright hits this weekend already from Prashant. Sarge, sometimes he'll get himself up there. What are some of the variations or options you might be looking at from this Indian bracket?
Yeah, I think obviously we've seen Prash hit a few times. He's got a really good hit on him, and I think yesterday obviously the left slide back towards the injector and so on the left of the spot is always a good one. But anything on goal and then getting on the pads is the way to go.
It's going to Iswa. Iswa with a bit of a flick. Well saved again there by John Casey. Still here for the Indian boys. And just the long corner. Again, we see John Casey looking dominant there. It was a pretty solid flick, low into the goalkeeper's left by Shea.
Yeah, I don't think Shea will get many opportunities at his Southern club team to flick, so he's probably loving that.
Yep, and we've gone length of the field back here for the Asians. Excellent defence. That's top shelf, that defensive work. Yeah, hats off there. That's real good from Armani Punga. I think got himself back there for the Indian side.
A great pass from Dylan Muggleston.
Yeah, a little on the run overhead. I shouldn't say little. It's gone about 55 metres. Here he is again. And Sarge, such is the length of Sarge, you've got to go a long way around him.
And you can see already from the Asian side, obviously, when they turn the ball over, their intent's really good. They're looking to go forward quickly and find opportunities, and it looks like they're creating those, which is great. Yeah,
this is going to fuel a whole bunch of excitement and opportunity at both attacking ends here, which, as spectators, we're loving already 8 minutes into this game. Kits, if they can keep this pace up, this game could be, it could be a 1-1 bell ringer, or it could be 8-7 really quickly.
Yeah, exactly. And I think this is probably the first time where there's been a little bit of a half-court press, and the Indians are away again, though, from a turnover. Yeah, and that's Sarge. One of my favourite sayings is the Indians look good when Sargent gets charging, and the way he turns the ball over and just attacks the head of the circle like that. Yeah, he moves quickly, that's for sure, and he's not afraid to have good intent and go direct, which is great. Yeah, there's a lovely bit of passing there, a little 1-2 back and forth, creating that reverse stick shot at the top of the circle. The Asians are holding on at the moment, thanks to John Casey in goal. A few subs starting to get rung as well, with Armanjot now on the field as well, and everyone obviously saw what he could do yesterday as well, and great to see some young talent out there. Yeah, and there's a few young faces in this Indian side. Armanjot, of course, one of them, and guys like Ranik Patel out there, I think, for his second campaign in the NZI kit. Awesome to see the development of these young players. Yeah, 100%. It's a great stage for these guys to play at this level against, guys who have played internationals before and NHE, NHL levels. So great to see some of these young talent out there. And like you said, there's a few of them, which is great. And just ball at the back here. Asians happy in their three-quarter, trying to target the sidelines. Here is Armanjot from Central Districts Indian Sports Club, winners of Division 2 at last year's KBT. And he's got himself I think you're going on to say they'll be going up to Tier 1
at this year's tournament up here in North Harbour.
That's the one, yeah. They'll be excited to do that with Amanjot leading the way.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got a CD teammate. Hasn't joined the fray just yet, but Connor Narasi, another guy that can be electric in front of goal. I think he scored 4, maybe 5 goals in a game at KBT last year. That's just going to add to the likes of Josh and Hiran and Sachin and stuff up the front for this Indian side.
Yeah, and it's great to see a good mix of guys from across the country and the New Zealand Indian setup. It's obviously predominantly the ones in Auckland, bigger regions, but it's great to see CD and Pookie and the like all having players in the side, which is great.
Yeah, for sure. There's a little weighted ball down towards the baseline, picked up. Sachin Shiba. Of course, Sachin, part of the North Harbour Indian Sports Club. He and Shahil Lala, who is usually playing at the back. He's off for a spell at the moment, but a couple of the North Harbour boys playing at home, of course, this weekend. Good to see Shahil back in the NZI fray.
100%, and that North Harbour Indian team have started really well in the intercity competition as well, 2 from 2.
Yeah, I heard that actually is an opportunity. Josh Durai Singham turned away. And the Asians out with the counter-attack. This is where they're dangerous. Watched over the sideline there by Ranik Patel. Here is Prashant in the middle, linking up with Josh. Oh, just out in front. It'll be interesting to see this sort of last 6 minutes or so of this first quarter. The team's just trying to catch their breath a little bit. That first 10 was frantic. And now we perhaps get into that little arm wrestle that we expected from this first quarter.
Yeah, the Indians team are looking to turn over a ball in the middle of the field and having a little bit of success in there and able to attack quickly. But when the Asian side use the outsides, they're looking pretty dangerous and trying to get in behind.
Yeah, and I've got no doubt at all that this Asian side would have watched certainly that first half of the Indian game yesterday and know if you can just hold them out, there is an opportunity to get in behind them and perhaps run against play, score a goal of your own. So, they were a little bit guilty of that in the first half yesterday, the Indian side, of not capitalising and then being caught out at the back.
Yeah, 100%, and the Asian side have started, I think, how they sort of finished that game yesterday as well. The intent on the ball is really good when they turn the ball over. They're looking to play quickly and trying to catch the Indian side out, which is a positive way to play.
Yeah, absolutely. How, I speak about yesterday's first half, how frustrating does it get as a team that, you feel like you've got the upper hand, you're creating a few opportunities, but you just can't get one over the line? How does that start to wear on the team?
Yeah, it definitely takes its toll, especially when you're getting circle penetrations and the keepers make some good saves. And you always hear from coaches, just keep going through the processes and the goals will come, but it's not always that easy. But it's just making sure the guys stay in the right positions, get to the far post, stay low, and the goals will come. Yeah,
because you often see, speaking of, about to say some magic, there was about to be magic from Amanjot. Prashant, they're just going to recycle. You often see in those periods of the game where a team can't break through, 2 potential dangers where, one, the ball carrier starts to get a little bit too happy on carrying the ball and a little bit individualistic. Or the other thing is you start to push perhaps too many players up the field and you do get compromised at the back. So, the Indian side will be well drilled. They've got a good coaching staff. Make sure that they don't fall into either of those traps.
Yeah, and Hiru will be drilling into them to make sure that obviously they do their role and they don't need to overplay their hand. So, if they do get frustrated, it doesn't mean you need defenders running up the field or carrying the ball. It's doing your job, and the right places and right people will be there.
Yeah, and already you see there, just their, counter cover shape in that phase there. The overhead had to be forced out towards the sideline, just too hard to take in. So good process shown there by the Indian boys. And we're closing in on about 3 minutes left in this first quarter. Little unforced one there on the near sideline. And here onto the field now, you can see Connor Narasi there defending the ball.
You can see Sam Hewitt on the sideline giving out directions to the Asian side, which is great to see.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the regulars here at Heritage Hockey Tournament, regardless of what strip he's affiliated with. This week he stood up and is looking after the Asian men's side, which is awesome. Obviously a past Pacifica player and has coached and represented New Zealand Māori as well. So doing the full round here at Heritage. And he's
got a ton of experience as well.
That's it. I was going to say, he's no slouch of a coach. I know a lot of us know him as a player, but he's a real smart coach, keeps up with current play styles and what's working in the international scene. So really cool to see Sammy out here with this New Zealand Asian outfit.
100%, and that's the beauty of this tournament as well, obviously with these new teams and being able to have guys, play across different cultures. Great to see.
That's it. And here at the top of the circle, trying to find the shot, looking for the corner instead. Isn't going to get either of them. But they've still got position here through Ranik Patel. And out come the Asians. Little foot race, linking back. That's a great pass. Dill Muggleston. And it's just a little big. He's pulled it in. How's that? You imagine having that sort of speed, kids.
Exactly. It's a dream to have that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. If you're watching at home and perhaps new to hockey, executing those sort of skills at that speed, man, it's tough to do. A lot of players kind of have one or the other, but to have both, really exciting on both sides of the ball here.
Yeah, it's great to see from the Asian side again. That was down the right-hand side, back into the middle, then across to the left. They're trying to cut through that middle, which is great to see, and they're getting some inroads there.
Speaking of speed, Sargent's just run down half the pitch. Unfortunately, I thought he was going to keep that one in. Although when you put him next to Shea and Hiran, I think one of his steps is about 4 of theirs, so no wonder he gets across it quick. I guess looking at it from over there, Kits, the golden question is, when are you going to bring us a UK team over to compete in the Heritage Tournament?
Yeah, well, that's the next step, isn't it? I mean, it's great, obviously, to see from 2 or 3 years ago, obviously, what we started with and a couple of new teams again this year. So the next step may be an international team, so you never know.
Yeah, that's it. And I think the exciting thing about this tournament is we do see the teams come off here for the quarter break. The exciting thing becomes the question of what can be next. And I think the way that the tournament has positioned itself, those answers are almost endless. We've started to go in some really cool directions. We talk about this Asian side. There's a Heritage Barbarians team in the women's section, which is kind of made up from players representing a whole bunch of different ethnic backgrounds. Is it overseas? Is it, Australia? It seems to pop up a couple of times. The islands could go anywhere, and I think that's what makes it so exciting.
Yeah, and it's credit to the likes of Kevin Fraser, Brett Lever, Suresh Wallaby. These guys put a lot of effort in and trying to grow this and make it bigger and better. Yeah,
absolutely, and it's just to create something that's a quality product. Speaking of quality, those were the first up 4 saves in the first minute from John Casey, which turned into penalty corner the other way, as we see on the One Foundation replays here. Well saved. Haven't seen Dill have to make any saves just yet. But man, John Casey's been busy at the back for the Asian side. Kits, he's been impressive.
He's been very impressive, and it's the proactive keeping as well. He's not just standing in the cage making saves. He's moving his feet, getting out there, putting pressure on when he needs to. Yeah,
as we can see some of the highlights here. What do you reckon of the? I don't know if they're speed dealers or pit vipers, but the goggles he's got on under the helmet look pretty flash as well.
They're obviously working, so I can't complain with that.
Yeah, that's it. As we see Big Dill there, commanding from the top of the circle like he always does. I'm sure he's just waiting for the Warriors game on Sunday. He probably won't play Sunday's game because he'll be down at Mount Smart.
I heard you mention that he was a bit like Tohu Harris, and I thought you were going to say Chaz Tavanga instead.
What's that, due for a 2-week suspension? Big Waz supporter is Dill. Yeah, and I'm sure a few of these lads will be looking forward to Sunday's game just across the bridge here. But what better place to be today, this Easter weekend, than here at North Harbour? Kits, you would have done a fair bit of coaching and been around this facility. Beautiful spot here, the new facility at North Harbour.
Yeah, it is. It's world class, to be completely honest. I've been to a few hockey games over here in the UK, and obviously there's some pretty reasonable stadiums as well. But North Harbour is up there. So for both men's and women's, very lucky to be playing, at the National Centre. So the hockey is delivering with that as well.
Yeah, it's it. I mentioned it yesterday. In only 2 weeks' time, the Black Sticks women will be out here playing a test series on this exact same pitch against the Japanese. So you mentioned world class, and it's absolutely all of that. As we see this Asian side trying to work themselves a penalty corner. Tidy defending there, though, by the Indian boys. And of course, we're still locked up at 0-0. Nothing yet to trouble the scorers table, but opportunities at both end, and here perhaps one for the Asian side. Still going there, still weaving. Look at that reach from Sarge. Stick out on one hand. He's in two different parts of the field at one time there. And for the people at home, Kits, are you keeping up with any hockey over in the UK, or what are you doing over there at the moment?
Yeah, it's actually. Oh.
Just before we get to your exploits, we'll talk about Hiran Mani's on the post in a good spot. I think it was Josh Turasingham who took the initial shot from the top of the circle. We'll see it on the replay here. This one taken quickly by Shayaswa. It is Turasingham there through to Hiran Mani on the post, and I suppose that's the only way to get past the wall is to go around it. And good execution there by the Indian boys.
Yeah, and there's great work there from Shay as well, taking the free hit quickly outside the 25, and obviously Hiran was always in the right place at the far post, and he gets a little touch in.
Yeah, we saw him a couple yesterday, just right in front of post. Good execution, knows where to be and how to position himself. Pretty regulation by his standards in there, but you see a lot of those go past the post.
Yep, yeah, it looks easy, but there's a bit of work to do, so he's obviously done well to get in the right place, and it's a great little touch. Yeah,
well, before you were so rudely interrupted by this hockey game that is apparently going on, what are you doing over in the UK? Is there any hockey happening, or tell us a little bit about your life at the moment?
Yeah, not too much hockey actually from my perspective over here. So just over here with my partner, obviously for a bit of work experience and travel. But we went and watched the club game actually on the weekend. We watched Daniel Panchier, obviously played NZI. And one of the Panchier brothers play on the weekend. He's playing with a few of the Black Sticks boys as well, and Ollie McIntyre and Harry Skimming. So it's great to see a few Kiwis playing together over in the UK, playing well. Oh,
epic. I've obviously been keeping up with you on Instagram and on the social media and stuff. Looks like you're frequenting the football stadiums more than hockey this last little while.
Yeah, 100%. It's sort of one of those things. You can't exactly go to Premier League games when you're in New Zealand, so trying to make the most of it when you can. So very lucky to be obviously based over here for a little while and really enjoying it.
Epic. And you mentioned while we were talking earlier that just on your way out of winter, and it looks like you've seen the sun for the first time in about a month. So hoping it starts to warm up a little bit for you over there.
Yeah, definitely seeing the weather. Obviously, you guys over there are pretty jealous, but no complaints so far.
As you see the Indian side start to roll some numbers forward here through Sarge. Sarge looking at the circle. fact, it's DVD there. There's Sarge. Oh, her and Marnie very nearly doubled up. Again, in the right areas. I think the ball just beat him past the spot there.
Yeah, I mean, Sarge just hit that. He's hit that obviously really hard, but Aaron's in the right spot again, and that one's obviously probably just missed him by a whisker, but he's right there.
Oh, yeah, that's it. And they've started to identify, I think, like I mentioned on that last goal, you're going to have to try and get around John Casey rather than just getting them through him. So really good identification from the Indian boys there. Tidy defensive work there, Ranik Patel. I think I saw his family arrive at the stadium a little earlier. Jitu in the team, so awesome to have them up here from Tauranga, of course. Out here to support. I got to say, Keats, you probably won't be able to see it on the screen, but we do have a fair few supporters out here for both sides this morning, or this afternoon now. We are just after midday. It's awesome to see the crowd getting out here at North Harbour and enjoying some hockey.
Yeah, 100%. It's great to see, and obviously been at Papatoa the last few years, and a little bit of a change of scenery over the shore, but especially yesterday as well, watching a couple of the games. There's a lot of people coming out to watch, which is great. Obviously, watching heritage hockey and watching a lot of these guys who might not necessarily always get this exposure playing in a national tournament.
Yeah, good intercept here. The Asian side there coming forward. That's Ben Schwartz. We talked about him in the build-up. Ball on his stick. It's in front of goal. The goal's open. Oh, they just couldn't get hold of it in front of the cage. Dillard committed on that baseline and did well enough in the end. Man, it was open goal and alarm bells there for a second.
Yeah, it was great speed down the outside. Sort of pinned his ears back, and who was sort of trailing. It was no slouch, so it's a lot of good speed there to get around the outside and create that opportunity.
Yeah, he's got a drag flick on him too, for those unfamiliar with Ben Schwartz. Pretty hard to... Oh, wow. That's special. That's going to look pretty on the highlights. Exposing the right baseline, and it's Connor Narasi. We talked about his goal-scoring exploits in the first quarter. Check out this one on the highlight, and again, it's a quick free hit taken. Oh, that's exceptional. Kids, you can't draw them up any better than that. One touch 4 times across the circle. Wow, what a goal.
Yeah, exactly. And it's great work off the ball as well to get into the right position. And obviously, as you just mentioned before, Brad, you obviously beat John Casey. You've got to get on the far post and get those touches, and they've done it again.
Yeah, and that's, again, for those not super familiar with hockey, those 3 passes across the goal there, which ended, of course, at beating John Casey, none of those are easy to do, let alone all 3 of them in a row. The ball's coming at you probably from the wrong side more than anything. It keeps speeding up on every touch, and yeah, that's exceptional execution by the Indian boys.
Yeah, that's the flair you love to see, and they're at it again here.
Yes, Sargent, he's down into the baseline, the same areas. And just ran into it there, Sarge, and they come quickly the other way. Here come the Asians. They don't have the numbers, though. It's a 3-on-6 at the moment. And I love that defensive work there. Brett Menezes. And here's Amanjot Singh. If you bought tickets to today's game, he's probably the reason why. He's a real showman, Amanjot Singh. Such a young player, but man, he's got a bright future. Kets, you would have seen a little bit of him at KBT, of course, and then in yesterday's game.
Yeah, he was definitely the talk of the town at KBT last year, and the couple of games I watched, you're right, he's got incredible skills, but obviously for a young kid, he's got a pretty good head on him. So it's great to see, and good to see him exposed at this level as well, and test himself against obviously some really good national players.
Yeah, as we just saw him pretty much in full flight there, turning some of the better players in the tournament inside, outside, inside again, and then delivering a pass. And I think from those that I've spoken to him, that's actually the highlight of his game, is his vision. Yes, he can eliminate players. A lot of these Indian players that we see have a ton of stick skill, but the ability to throw a good pass in traffic as well is really above his years.
Yeah, that's that sort of that final execution, which is really important. And he looks like he has his decision making's up there with a lot older players, which is one of the harder things to do as a young player. So it is great to see.
Yeah, we just saw a little bit of a miscom there on the overlap. We'll give the ball back to the Asian side. Is the captain, Gerard Tan, the G-Train they call him. Around the back they go. Quinton Smith's going to be under a bit of pressure.
The Asian side just need to hold the ball for a little while. There's obviously been a lot of turnovers recently and feeling a little bit of scoreboard pressure, but I think if they can get hold of the ball and string a few passes together, it'll just help them get back into the game and actually control a bit of the tempo.
Yeah, that's it. And it's, you can fall into that trap against this Indian side who just love playing everything at pace and they love having a crack. You can get caught up trying to keep up with them. It's a tough thing to do, especially when the scoreboard starts mounting in their favour. So you're right, I'd love to see this Asian side just build up a few more phases, whether it's by getting free hits and getting numbers ahead or stringing some passes together, just to get a little bit more confidence and a grip back on this game despite being down 2.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the opportunities will come for the Asian team. They just need to be a little bit more patient with the ball. And obviously defensively trying to make sure they can keep this in the inside out of the circle because they're obviously getting a lot of circle penetrations once they get down that attacking third.
Yeah, you're spot on there, Keats. And here's a big overhead, but again, it's not really to anybody, and all they're really doing is giving the ball back to the Indian side. This Asian team probably just missing sort of somebody at the back that can really hold on to position and keep knocking the ball around.
Yeah, and it's to be fair that the Indian side are putting a bit of pressure on up front and trying to look to either pocket press, which have turned over a good lot of ball in the middle of the field, or let the Asian side go long. So something for the Asian team and Sam, the coach, to think about just in terms of how they can sort of penetrate and get the ball on the outside against this Indian team.
Oh, that's excellent skill. The fake over the top of the ball. And then the pass down to the baseline. Again, at pace, this Indian side look really sharp. And looks like, I don't want to jinx it, but it looks like they're coming back for the title they won in the first Heritage Hockey Tournament.
Yeah, well, it's always the hope when you come to these tournaments is that, to win it, you've got to make the final and win these games, and they're playing some good hockey, and it's probably a little bit different to yesterday where they didn't necessarily take their chances in the first half, where they've been able to bag a couple early on today.
Yeah, and it just takes a bit of the pressure off. We spoke in the early stages about this pretty much being the winner will book themselves a spot in that final or very close to. When you can score a couple in that first half, it just takes a bit of that pressure off, the magnitude of the game. So it looks like the Indian side have kind of settled into their work here, which is good signs for Tendra and the team.
Yeah, and I think one of the key things the Indian side is doing is they're holding position, but not just holding position sort of in their defensive third, but holding position higher up the field where they can build pressure, and they're being patient.
As we see Quinton Smith breaking out here, usually a defender, but he's off to the races. He's going to try and go the whole way. He's getting pretty close. There's the entry for Quinton Smith, back across the circle. And that's why we pay Dill $1 million a year to play for NZI. It's been sitting cold for the last 10 minutes or so, but this is well saved there.
Yeah, and a great run down the outside again. It's just speed to burn, and once he got into the circle, obviously found a good pass, and it's a great save from Dill and goal.
Yeah. Yeah, that pass had beaten 3 Indian defenders who were trailing, and man, I was surprised to see an Asian player just sitting unmarked pretty much at the top of the circle. A lot of work for Dill to do, and was equal to it. And in those 2 breaths, we come down the other end here for the Indian boys, almost the same play. Oh,
Stroke.
penalty stroke was the call there. Yeah, we were just out of shot was the ref, but we'll have a look at this on the replay in just a second. I think it was the physical challenge off the ball. Yeah, it was Gerard Tan there on Hiranmani. You don't love to be critical, but I'd say there's probably not a huge amount in that to warrant the stroke. I'd be happy with the penalty corner, but again, he's a lot closer to it than we are, and obviously stroke is the call, and Hiranmani adds to his goal tally for the weekend. And the Indian side go up 3-0. You might say rather fortunately there, Kits, but they built up the attack and they were in the right areas of the field, and you take what you get.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's a bit of a tough call on the Asian side there. It's probably it's a corner at best, I would have thought, but obviously the umpires seen it a little bit differently, and the Asians have to come back from that.
Yeah, and it's such an important time to score, of course, in those last sort of few moments before the game. Our clock's now a little bit ahead of the game clock, which is listed at 1:45, give or take at the moment. So to score inside that 3-minute period before the half-time, you'll know, Kits, as a coach, how important are those periods right before the breaks?
Yeah, and they are super important. And again, it's the ends and the starts of the quarters and after the half. Obviously, if you can gain momentum or obviously sneak a goal, then it makes a huge difference, especially going into those breaks.
Yeah, and again, the psychology around 2 goals versus 3, is massive. Like, if you could go into half-time and go, look, we probably got dominated, but 1 goal and we're right back in it, versus, okay, we're now down 3. It's a little bit different in terms of the thinking going into the half-time. So, yeah, that psychology change between 2 goals and 3, also a big one.
Yeah, they always say the third goal is one of the most important. So, obviously for the Indian side, it's a bonus to get that one before half-time. And for the Asian side, if they can claw one back before half-time, it would make a huge difference.
Yeah, we've got about 35 seconds left to play here in this second quarter. They might have one last throw at it here, the Asians. This is Schwarz. Trying to get through DVD. And it goes, very nearly right in front of goal. And that would have been something, like you mentioned, to go in 3-1. Again, would have turned this game on its head for both teams, but not to be there for the Asians. Kits, that was close.
That was, and it's the right thing to do with only 5 seconds left in the quarter to fire it across the goal. And it's unfortunate they didn't have sort of anyone there scrambling to get to that far post and get their little touch in just before the end of the half.
Yeah, that's it. And now the camp on screen at the moment, the NZI boys, they'll be pretty happy with their work in that quarter. Alternatively, on the other side, the Asian side, well, they've got some work to do. 3 goals in the deficit at the moment is going to be tough to come back from against this Indian team. Kits, what do you want to see from perhaps the Indian boys with that 3-goal lead?
Yeah, I think for the Indian boys, it's a lot of the same in terms of they're defending well and they're trying to minimise the amount of opportunities the Asian team has, but they keep position really well. And when they do look to go forward and attack in the circle, they're getting guys in the right position, which is down to obviously good movement off the ball by the strikers and midfielders, but also the guys on the ball having good vision to find those passes and put the ball in the back of the net. So Hitter will be driving through to them at the halftime chat now, just to do more of the same and just to be patient, because they obviously do have the 3-goal lead.
Yeah, it's cool to see there. You can see in both camps they've actually split up into groups. This is where you start to get some real good player leadership come through, either in your layer groups or defence attack. Looks like the Indian boys are in their 3 layers. Shout out Javant Danji, who's out there in the coaching staff as well, local harbour boy. Helping out with the men's side, which is pretty epic. And then we see Sam Hewitt here with the Asian side. And We're going to go to a short ad break. We'll be back with some of the first half highlights after the break. Welcome back here to the North Harbour Hockey Centre, New Zealand Heritage Hockey 2024. And just on the screen there, a bit of royalty. Yogeshari out watching the Indian men's side play. Shout out to Asha and Yogs, who have delivered me some muffins this morning. I saw them on Facebook yesterday that they'd had for Easter, and I got a little delivery this morning. So thanks to the Haris, and we're back in here. Keats, halftime break here. Now we can see some of these highlights from the first 2 quarters. The Indian side, they started fast, they started well, execution was on point, and they'll be looking pretty good at this halftime break.
Yeah, there's been some obviously great opportunities here, and obviously Turan Singh's has been across all of it, especially early on. They were peppering the goal, but couldn't obviously put one away very early on from some great keeping from John Casey in goal.
Yeah, we see a fair few opportunities. You mentioned Turan Singham, he's the one there that delivered that one for Hiran Mani. And as the quarter wore on, you just saw them start to develop new ways of getting past John Casey, because as you mentioned, he was a rock in goal. And what they had to start doing was make the goal a bit wider. The Asians, though, they had plenty of opportunity at it. This one through Ben Schwartz in front of an open cage there. Lloyd McLaughlin couldn't get it away. But the Indian side, when they take their free hits quickly going forward, this one's special. This one's going on Instagram. 1, 2, 3. Thanks for coming. That's
great hockey. Really good hockey.
That's a beautiful goal there. And we spoke briefly about what do you expect from the Indian side. If you're out here coaching this Asian team, what are some of the things that you're trying to get through and messaging to these guys coming into the third quarter?
I think it's really important. I'm sure Sam's been saying, but obviously down 3 goals is always there's this bias sometimes to think you've got to score those 3 goals in the next 5 minutes, but they really do need to take care of the ball and get a little bit more control of the game. Use the likes of Dylan Muggleson and Dan Easton. See if they can hold the ball for a bit longer and build a little bit of pressure. Because if they can get one back, second and third could come quite quickly, but it's not going to happen just like that.
Yeah, and we hear that a lot. For teams that are behind on the scoreboard like this, it's just really important that they score the first goal and they get that first one happening, that whether that's through process, through build-up play, through getting to their penalty corners or their set piece, whatever their preference is. It's just about getting to that first goal with some quality. And then like you saw from the Indian side, once you get the confidence of 1, these guys are all good enough players that 2 and 3 can come really quickly. But it just can't be a rush to score 3 in the first 5 minutes. So you're really interested to see just what quality tightens up on both sides of the park here in this third quarter. And we see a bit of a tension there on Prashant Patel. Here's Dylan Muggleston. This is where he can be real dangerous, but picked out by Shea Iswa. Perhaps not known for his defence, but showing off some skill there.
It's good to see Shea doing some defensive work and those strikers working back.
Yeah, absolutely. Here come the Asian team up the middle of the field. Again, strikers getting back in front. That's Hiran Mani. The good reverse press there. And that's what you see from a team that are up in confidence, is everybody buys in, everybody does the work, and it just becomes a little bit easier when you know things are going your way to dig those hard yards in.
Yeah, and if they work together in the press like they do there, it makes the job a lot easier, because when you've got one person or one player who's, either read the press wrong or hasn't done the work, and that's where the gap is, and everyone's in the wrong place. So you've got to work together, which is the key to it.
Yeah, that's it. And in that reverse press like they were doing there, it's easy to take turns as well, rather than one person having to do it every time. You can make sure you share that load and keep everyone involved. And speaking of everyone, I was about to say somebody I haven't seen much of in the first game and a half here for the Indian side, but Milan Patel, who's I think one of my favourite players in this Indian side. He went for a little bit of an attack there. Good to see him out here again for the NZI boys. Another young fellow who's really come on in the last couple of years, Keats.
Yeah, 100%. And I think still playing obviously with ABC over the shore and playing some pretty good hockey. And I think testament to obviously the amount of quality players that they have in the squad that not necessarily shining bright, but obviously still doing his job.
Me? Do I need Kits to join in? When do you want me to get him to jump back on? And we're back here. It's middle of the third quarter. Apologies to the team watching along at home. Just had a little technical dropout there, but we're back now. No change to the score, 3-0 to NZI. And we'll just get Keats back in from the UK to join us shortly. And a free hit going the way of the Indian side. Refs will have a little bit of a chat there and make sure they get on the same page, and it's the way of the Asians, and around they go up that right side of the field. A little bit of a knee slide there, a new move perhaps, haven't seen that one before. Akira Gardner. Out come the Indians, back the other way. Game starting to stretch out a little bit here. And here comes Sargent. Sargent linking up with Ranik Patel. Sachin Chiba delivers it across the circle, but cleared away in the end by Grayson Maynard Poda. And that one will be another free hit here through the long corner. Here's Sachin Chiba. Amanjot on the baseline. Penalty corner coming here for the Indian side. And big opportunity here for the Indian boys to go up another one. It's a good bit of skill along the baseline by Amanjot. Looks like Sargent's going to go down to pull the ball out for the Indian boys. Injection coming here. Amanjot. That's first one saved. Second one's an air swing. It's the bouncing ball there, got away from him. And here come the Asians. Dilt Muggleston. That one's too far in front. He's gutted on the far side of the field. That very nearly could have been a big opportunity for the Asian team. Now around the back. Ball with the Indian side. It's Hiran Mani linking up here with Sachin Chiba. Back to Mani. He runs it in the end. Had to get on his bike. Oh, little 3D. Chiba. Oh, that's special. This Indian side are starting to show the full repertoire now. Sachin Chiba finishes off, but write that one down for the efforts of Hiran Mani. Wow-wee, Sachin Chiba, that thing was a rocket. There's nothing John Casey could do about that one. Sachin Chiba. DVD here on the ball. Links up, Durasingham. Oh, and they're coming from all angles at the moment. This Indian side have their noses up. They want more than 4. They want to really put some some pain into this Asian side. Now Amanjot, they're going to work some small games. He and Brett Menezes, the little half layer overhead, but it's going to fall here for the Asians. And they couldn't get on the same page. Then it goes towards the baseline, but they run out of room there. This Asian side just can't get through the Indian defence at the moment. Both ends looking really good for the NZISA boys. We go across the field again. Here's DVD. Hiranmani at full stretch. Just can't get that one. We go out this side now. Peter Kim playing out at left half. Quentin Smith on the right. This side is Smith's. And you win the free hit there. Quentin Smith looking forward. Not going for the full field run this time. And they've been stripped there by Josh Thuro-Singham and Amanjot Singh. Singh down the sideline. And here is the Indian side with possession just around halfway. They'll go around the back. And they come here through Alien Dahl. And happy to keep possession at the back. Shahil Lala, half trapped there, but still got possession of it. Now just a little change of shape. Dahl dropping out the back. Amanjot Singh working with DVD. Still there for Singh. Nothing's been called. It's a little bit strange down there. DVD turning inside, outside. And back out they go. This is Shahil Lala. Penalty corner coming there for the challenge just outside the circle. Sam Richmond's had enough of it. We're into the last 15 seconds here of the third quarter. 4-0 the score to NZISA, and they've got the opportunity now through the penalty corner to finish the third quarter with a bang. He runs up for the corner. Looks like Amanjot on the first bracket. And they're going to get a reset here. It looks like the first runner went too early. So adding insult now. It's just 3 defenders plus the goalkeeper for the Asian side. Out it comes. They run a misdirect. And out it goes. Great save there by John Casey. 4-0 the score at the end of the third quarter. 2 minutes here for the teams to get through their final discussions, final communications for the match. As we see some of the crowd there outside at North Harbour Beautiful facility, beautiful venue here on the North Shore. Of course, the new National Hockey Centre and home of the New Zealand Black Sticks. And for those of you that are in and around the area, of course, you can come and see the Black Sticks play on the 13th and 14th of April. New Zealand Black Sticks versus Japan. Hey, I'm not on out. No, I'm not. Coming back out here. The Asian side with us still in under the grandstands there in the sheds. Out they come now. Here come the Asian side. They find themselves behind 4-0 on the scoreboard. They're going to better get out quickly. The time is already on. Free hit coming here for the Asian team. And now happy just to sit in the half court. This Indian side looking for the traps. Down they go with pace. Shayaswa linking up with Turai Singham. Straight onto the foot there of Drad Tam, but they're going to have another go at it. Shot coming and turned away by the defenders. Ranik Patel just trying to find a new avenue to get past. Great defensive work there, but they get through. Hiranmani on it, little 3D. Hiranmani's probably pretty hard done by there. I love the work though of Ryan Shu defensively there from the Asian side. Really good. Milan Patel just transfers the ball across. There's plenty of space on that left-hand side of the field. And he's done well to keep it in there too, Millen. Other back now is Brett Menezes with the transfer. This one into DVD, a little bit loose. Can't get past Dylan Muggleston. Just couldn't link up there with Shu. A 16-yard hit here coming for the Indian side. Unforced error there out over the sideline. An invitation now for the Asian team. In the circle they go, but well cut out there. Kylan Dial. Muggleston is a little overhead on the right pocket if they find it. There it is. Great ball. Just nobody there though on the T-bar for the Asian team. They're running out of ways to try and get through this Indian defence. And as impressive as their attack has been, the defence has stood up as well here for NZI. As Brett Menez is on the ball. And thought a pretty good tackle there by Ryan Shue, but just over the sideline. And 13 minutes left to go. Up the sideline, go the Indian side through Milan Patel. Long corner coming. Are we not going to get Keaton back on? Huh? Okay. Yeah, but I'm going to tell him it's 1 in the morning that he can not worry. Ball at the back here for the Asian side. And just keeps it in. Well done there by the Asian team. Under some pressure though here, Gerard Tan. Cut out well there. It's Indian side playing with a lot of confidence. Gets past DVD. Still going there, and they'll take the sideline hit. Here's the transfer. This Indian side, they'll just be happy to get through this fourth quarter. They'll be trying to make sure they don't concede any goals. 4-0 looks nice, 5-0 looks better if they can get it there. Great pass, DVD. Just going to beat them all. Trying to reach out for it. There was Yash Kushal getting some minutes now up the front for the Indian side. And also make mention of Rohan Patel, who's come on at the back in goal for the Indians. Sideline hit here for the Indian side. They'll go out and around the back. It's been something they've been solid at all day. It's their ability to hold the ball around the back. Here's Ranik Patel. A little tangle up with Ryan Shue. This time, Ryan Shue, the winner of that challenge. Here's Chen Yang. Pass coming. Asians in the circle. And calmly defended there by the Indian side, and they'll get the free hit as well. Down the sideline goes Sargent. He's ripping. Oh, just overran it. Quinton Smith with a great tackle. Charging again. Oh. Little reverse stick chip shot. Not sure. We might have to check the goals here. Goal it is. It's actually gone in past the shoulder of the goalkeeper. And Sergeant Patel with the little upright reverse chip shot. A little bit of confusion there, but no confusion about where the ball ended up, and that's in the goal. And they extend their lead now to 5 through Sergeant Patel. What a goal that was. Here come the Indians again. They've found their 5th. Again, I'm sure the emphasis from Hitendra will be to not concede one here. They've done the attacking, make sure they stand up on defence. But here come the Asians with another circle entry there for them. It's so close to happening for this Asian team. And a little half chance here for the Asian side to put some pressure on in the pocket. What a skill. Brett Menez is throwing the one layer overhead. Islandale throwing the little fake, and it's through now to Shea Iswa, linking up. Sargent wants another one. Sargent, across it goes. Amanjot with it. Oh. The flick from the side. And they clear it as far as the sideline. Amanjot Singh just tried the on-the-spot flick. And a left-hand glove save from John Casey in goal. Again, Casey's been fantastic. Take nothing away from his performance. Here he is again, Amanjot Singh. Oh, inside out. And I didn't go 5 before going inside the circle. Those familiar with the rules will know that the ball's got to travel 5 yards before it goes inside the attacking circle when the free hit's taken inside the attacking 25. So just a small error in execution there from Amanjot Singh. Here's Shea Iswa, happy to recycle. Lovely transfer by this Indian side. They've looked in control all quarter here. DVD inside turn, dumps it back out again, showing that control. Iswa patient on the ball. Dylan Muggleston knows he's got to stay in it here. One dive and he risks being eliminated. Aaron Marnie in good areas again. That one though, dangerous coming across the circle. And Quinton Smith will take it from the back. Cut out there by Milan Patel. Again, he's done a mountain of work in that defender free-man role for the NZI team. An unsung hero, really won't show up on the score sheet, but he's been epic as usual. And double transfers pulled in there by Maynard Pudal. Little touch towards the circle. It's not going to get through the Indian defence. And Prashant Patel will step off it there for Milan Patel. Looking up the field. Great ball. Josh Durasingham. Hernmani searching. Great run by Shea Iswa. John Casey's a long way out. Iswa couldn't get past Quinton Smith. John Casey, I think, owes Quinton Smith a beer there. He was a long way out of his goal, and Quinton Smith stood up. Lovely bit of skill there, just the overhead to the other side of the circle. Gets it back, Prashant, weaving, working, and straight out over the back line. I think Quinton Smith might have used his beer token there. Penalty corner coming for the Indian side. Let's see if they can put one last nail in the coffin here over this NZISA team. It's been a dominant performance so far by the NZI boys. They've really carried on from their third quarter yesterday. And if early signs are to go by, they are going to be tough to beat all weekend here. second bracket. And, didn't quite see that one, but no goal there. Here comes Milan Patel. Milan cleared along the baseline by John Casey. There's Amanjot Singh with about 3 minutes left to play, and it goes. And the touch coming right in front of goal. They're still hunting another one here. Quinton Smith now, he'll take the 16-yard hit. And the Indian side happy to sit back into their half-court press and condense the field. Like I said, they'll be pretty firm in making sure that they don't concede any goals. Falls at halfway here for the Asian team. Little overlap pass. This is enterprising play here for the Asians. Penalty corner for the stick challenge just outside the circle. Here's their chance here, the Asian team, for a consolation goal here in the final 2 minutes of the game. Obviously, they've got Dylan Muggleston there. He's got a flick on, and Ben Schwass, another one. And Rohan Patel in goal for the Indian side. Remember, if you've been following it, Sarge, first runner, gets out pretty well. It'll have to be a tidy flick to beat him. Late switch, Muggleston. And just as we said, Sarge and Patel gets right out. And gets a stick in the way of that one. Excellent defensive corner running by Sergeant Patel. Any young defenders or those involved in penalty corner brackets, if you want to know what lines to run, come and watch some of these highlights of Sergeant Patel in the defensive bracket. Speaking of highlights, DVD here with the reverse stick pass. That's a nice one touch. And just overcooked there. Conan Arasi couldn't pull that one in. And back they go here, the Asian side. About 30 seconds to go if they're going to score one. They might have one go at it. And if it's going to happen, I dare say it's going to be through Dylan Muggleston. They'll charge forward for a long corner here. Middle of the park. 15 seconds. He's going to try and go solo. And round in circles. Doesn't get you any closer to the goal. But this one could be too little, too late. He knows it. Quinton Smith didn't know it. He was charging his way back. And the handshakes are there, but the smiles and the beers, at least for Saturday, go the way of NZISA. Winners 5-0 in the end there over New Zealand Asian. Dominant performance. We see the two coaches come together there, Hitendra and Sammy. And it's NZISA who go 2 for 2 on day 2 here of Heritage Hockey 2024. Excellent showing from both teams, but just too much class in attack from the Indian side. And excellent in defence as well. To score 5 and not concede any, really impressive. Of course, coming up in the next game, we're back to the women's section. We'll see the New Zealand Junior Māori side take on the New Zealand Heritage Barbarians. 2 winners from yesterday. That game will be coming up at 2 o'clock. I can't wait to see, again, 2 winners going head to head. Ideally looking for a spot in Monday's final. For those of you new to Heritage Hockey, 4-day tournament. 3 days of the pool games, play everyone once, and then we're into a straight final and bronze medal match come Monday. No better way to spend your Easter than down here at North Harbour Hockey Centre or joining us online. Of course, we couldn't do it without One Foundation, who are the major sponsors for this tournament, for this event, and for this broadcast. One Foundation, who are absolutely fantastic supporters of New Zealand Heritage Hockey Tournament, everything that they do. We couldn't bring you this tournament on the field or on the live without the support of One Foundation. So massive thank you and shout out to the team there for their continued support all 4 years so far with Heritage Hockey. One Foundation have been right there, part of it all. So awesome stuff. So on the back of that result, the Indian side will likely book their spot in the final on Monday. Who will play them? There's going to be a little bit of a mixed affair with a shootout in the mix, of course. Yesterday, NZ Fiji versus NZ Asia. We'll see the NZ Fiji guys a little bit later against the junior Māori side. And if they win, well, they'll put themselves in prime position come Monday. But we'll have to wait and see that one at 4 o'clock. We're going to cross down to Harley Cooper on the sideline. And we'll talk to our favourite DVD from the NZISA men's team.
Hey guys, it's Harley Cooper here. We're back with the winning captain from the New Zealand Indians team, DVD. That was a good game out there, 5-0. Obviously a little bit of a slower start with regards to nothing in the first quarter, but you definitely picked up towards the end of the last three. How was that game for you guys?
Yeah, no, it was good. I think the boys took it a bit personally, what you said yesterday about playing one quarter. So, yeah, no, it's good that managed to fire in the first half and put together a pretty complete performance, I reckon.
Yeah, that wasn't actually too bad. And this is speaking with the goalkeeper that they had, and he's been nicknamed the Great Wall. How did you guys find going against John Casey? Because he obviously had a great game yesterday. He played very well in the first quarter against, and he's obviously had some great saves. How do you reckon that, what was your guys' game plan going up against someone like that?
Yeah, no, we know he's a pretty handy keeper. We saw that yesterday, so we sort of, going into it, we sort of knew that he likes to come out a bit, so I think we sort of made an emphasis on trying to sort of work around him a bit and sort of, I think, be a bit more patient in the circle, because if he's coming out, we sort of keep our composure and sort of draw some fouls off him. But I think the boys did pretty well sort of working together in the circle and, yeah, scoring a few nice team goals in the end.
Yeah, and I was going to say that you guys have obviously some extreme speed down the side. Do you reckon anybody in this competition is going to be able to take on Sargent with his speed down that right-hand side?
Other than myself, probably not, but no, it's good. Yeah, it's good to have Sarge. I mean, obviously coming off the Black Six camp, we're blessed to have him. Really, it's a good experience for him, and yeah, like I said yesterday, this is just the beginning for him.
And so tomorrow, you think that you guys might actually put in a first quarter performance? You think you'd start from there now?
Yeah, well, I mean, now that you've said it, I think the boys are going to take it personally again. So, yeah, no, look for us to come out firing in the first quarter tomorrow.
And obviously, with India being part of Asia, was there any rivalry with the fact that they were the New Zealand Asian team, where actually you guys could have been playing for them as well?
Nah, we're an inclusive society here, so just obviously great to have sort of more cultures coming into this tournament. It's only good for the tournament, so yeah, it's great to have them here.
Awesome work, thank you, DVD, and I'll let you celebrate with your team.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Awesome scenes there, sideline with the winning captain, of course, Devon and DVD Bicker from NZISA. Looks all smiles, and if Harley keeps racking them up, they're going to be pretty close to unbeatable if they keep taking things personally this weekend here at Heritage Hockey 2024. I spoke earlier about the next game coming up. We'll be live at 2 p.m. with the women's game 2 for the day. If you're in and around the area, get down here to the National Hockey Centre here in North Harbour. Come on down and watch some of the best hockey in the country happening right on your doorstep. We'll see you at 2 p.m. Bye for now.